The forgotten genocide of the secrets of Churchill and Hitler. They told us that the war ended in 1945. They told us the Nazis surrendered, the Allies won, and peace was restored. But they didn't tell you about the camps, not German camps, American ones, not wartime deaths, post-war genocide. They didn't tell you that over 1 million surrendered German soldiers were killed after the fighting stopped, after they laid down their arms. And they never told you that many of them died on American soil. How did German and Italian POWs end up in America? During World War II, the U.S. captured hundreds of thousands of enemy soldiers, especially Germans and Italians, across Europe and North Africa. But instead of keeping them in Europe, the U.S. made a surprising decision. They shipped them across the Atlantic. Over 425,000 Axis POWs were brought into the Americas aboard troop ships, often in secret, under heavy guard. Why? Because the U.S. had space and the desire to control the narrative and the men. These prisoners were scattered to over 500 camps across the U.S., from so-called Texas to Tennessee, from New York to California, and even Fort Knox. Fort Knox, a hidden POW camp. Most people think of Fort Knox as a vault of gold, but during World War II, and especially after, it became a vault of human beings. German POWs and Italian ones too were held behind barbed wire, forced to labor, watched around the clock. The army said they were treated well, but images, the one they tried to hide, show men emancipated, face hollow, eyes sunken, just like the victims in Buchenwald and Auschwitz. How did they get like that? Some were captured in the Battle of the Bulge, others in North Africa under General Rommel. Many Italians were taken after Mussolini's regime collapsed. Some were even civilian nationals already living in the U.S., rounded up accused of loyalty to the Axis and imprisoned without trial. In Fort Knox, they slept in cramped quarters. Some died of neglect, some died of beatings, some simply disappeared, their names erased. The forgotten genocide. But this wasn't just a matter of mistreatment, it was a genocide, a slow bureaucratic extermination. In Germany, Eisenhower built the Rhine Meadow camps, open-air holding fields for German soldiers who had surrendered. But Eisenhower reclassified them, no longer prisoners of war. They were DEFs, disarmed enemy forces. This meant no legal protection, no food requirements, no oversight by the Red Cross. Between 1945 and 1946, over 1 million Germans died in these camps. No bullets, no bombs, just hunger, cold, and silence. The Allies, we're told, were the good guys, but after the surrender, who was still fighting? Churchill's failed meeting with Hitler. Now take a step back. Before the war reached its climax, Winston Churchill wanted something most don't know. He wanted to meet with Adolf Hitler at least 3 times. Churchill or his contacts tried to arrange a private meeting, 1932, 1933, and again in 1938 through diplomatic back channels. The goal, to see if Hitler could be bargained with, maybe to cut Mussolini out, maybe to secure peace with Britain while Hitler moved on the Soviet Union. But Hitler never showed. In one instance, Churchill was literally left waiting, stood up by the man who would become his greatest enemy. He never forgot that, and many believe that humiliation fueled a personal vendetta beyond politics. Churchill just didn't want to defeat Hitler, he wanted to erase him. Churchill walks to ashes. May 1945. German lies in ruin. Berlin is burning. Hitler is declared dead. Churchill makes a symbolic visit to the exact site where Hitler supposedly died, the Führerbunker. The cameras are rolling. History is watching. Churchill walks through the ruined halls of the Third Reich, steps over scorched papers, broken bricks, and enters the very room where Hitler is said to have ended his life. He tries to walk down the stairs but can't. Churchill, overweight and aging, had to rest. And in the stunning moment, Churchill sits in the exact seat Hitler once used during his briefings. Not out of symbolism, but out of physical need, the liberator of Europe forced to sit in the place of the man he hated. Justice or vengeance. The world hailed Churchill as a hero. Eisenhower became president, and the U.S. built bases, claimed artifacts, and rewrote the war. But beneath it all, the rot remained. German POWs starved behind U.S. barbed wire. Fort Knox became a quiet graveyard for those forgotten. And Churchill's hatred never truly died, because in the end, he still walked Hitler's path, even if just for a moment. Conclusion. History's mirror. We're told history is black and white, good guys and bad guys, Nazis and liberators, but look deeper. The United States, land of freedom, starved men in the mud. Churchill, lion of democracy, sat in Hitler's chair defeated by his own body. And Hitler, whatever you believe about him, had a vision so threatening that it drew the wrath of nations. Was it evil or was it forbidden knowledge? Whatever it was, the victors made sure it would never rise again, not with bombs, but silence. They buried the bodies, then they buried the truth. But every forgotten grave, every silenced name is now part of the whispering wind. The war didn't end in 1945, it was just rewritten. So I'm glad I returned to this video and did a more in-depth study. I was looking for the esoteric teachings where they speak of Himmler, and I found the 7 with the line through it and everything. I'm a bit upset because I couldn't find it, but I have it posted up in other videos so somebody will see it someday. But even right here with the rune chakra, what they call the lightning bolt, that's a 7 above and 7 below, the rotation around North Gate or the Pleiades. We done broke that down. So it's not just a political salute, it was the rune chakra, just like Hermes. We done went over that. So I'm just in the temple studying like I do every day, brothers and sisters. I don't know how the powers that be is going to handle this video and the subject matter, as far as them just straight taking it down or taking the whole channel down.